Muslim Ummah supplicate as they observe Arafat Day, just as President Muhammadu Buhari reiterates commitment to a great Nigeria. On special assignment, correspondence on last-minute preparation for Salah. And Nigeria and United Kingdom pledge to deepen relationship. A very good evening to you. Welcome to the news tonight. I'm Phil Obano, and in Lagos is Ademola, while Fatai is on standby in our Ibadan center. The Benue state government has opened 2 camps for people displaced as a result of the flood occasioned by persistent rainfall in the state. Governor Samuel Otom made this known after he took a tour of the affected areas for the second time within Makurdi. Bem Hanya reports.
The governor visited Kanchio and Achusa areas in Makurdi as many residents struggled to evacuate their belongings from houses that have been submerged.
I have been a victim here over the years. Throughout the night, me and my children, we couldn't sleep.
While at the Makurdi Ultra-Modern International Market, he announced that the market and a presidential building at Agan, all in Makurdi, will serve as temporary shelter for displaced persons. Governor Otom said a committee has been constituted and headed by the Deputy Governor, Benson Abonu, to mitigate the impact of the flood.
As I speak to you, my Commissioner for Environment is in Abuja to see the Minister and then to submit a letter to the Presidency. And I look forward that support and help will come from the federal government.
Benue is among the states that were predicted by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, to be hit by flooding this year. In Makurdi, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed immediate emergency response to Benue flooding, expressing his sympathy to affected communities, the government and people of Benue State. President Muhammadu Buhari noted with great concern that the flood has affected thousands of homes and displaced more than 100,000 persons in 12 local government areas. He has consequently directed the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to immediately mobilize personnel and resources to come to the aid of the victims of the flooding. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Garba Shehu, says the President is closely monitoring the situation and will be receiving regular updates on the scale of the disaster, as well as the federal government's humanitarian response. And in quick response, the National Emergency Management Agency says 7 trucks of various relief items will arrive Makurdi tomorrow. The agency says it is responding proactively to the Benue flood disaster. Today is Arafat Day, when pilgrims on Hajj gather on Mount Arafat in supplication and prayers to Allah. Abdullahi Yaji reports on Arafat Day and its significance to Muslims, especially as an obligatory part of Hajj rites.
Arafat is a mountain or granite hill east of Mecca, also known as Mount of Mercy. Historically, it is the place where the repentance of Adam was accepted after his fall from heaven. Today, the 9th of Zulhijjah, over 2 million Muslims converged there, following the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad to perform one of the key pillars of Hajj.
Plain of Arafat is so significant because that was where everything was sealed, stamped, sealed, and delivered, meaning that this job has been completed.
Scholars explain the significance of the sermon delivered on this day.
During the course of the sermon arrived by the Imam, that's why he emphasized on Quranic education. This Quranic education is vital. If we put Quran aside, we are going to be doomed.
The message is universal. If we hold on to the practice of the Prophet ﷺ, we'll now find peace. In a society where there's conflict.
Pilgrims are expected to converge on Mount Arafat from sunrise to sunset and advised to fast. Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari says he would not rest on his oars until Nigerians say the country of their dream. He made a promise in his Eid al-Kabir message to Nigerians, which he personally signed. The president reassured that his administration is committed to ensuring the security, economic well-being and prosperity of all Nigerians. President Buhari thanked all Nigerians for their prayers and support towards his recovery, which he affirmed has spurred him to work better for the development and growth of the country, to rise against all odds and remain peaceful. Meanwhile, Senate President Bukola Saraki has charged the 91,000 Nigerian pilgrims currently performing this year's Hajj to leverage on the significance of Arafat Day to pray for the quick recovery of the nation's economy and good health for President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the Senate President, Yusuf Olaniyonu, Saraki calls on the pilgrims to pray for the security, peace, unity and development of the country. The Senate President, who is also in Saudi Arabia for the Hajj exercise, advised that the gathering of worshippers from all over the world on the plains of Mount Arafat is an opportunity to intensify prayers to Allah to resolve the country's challenges. Still on Salah celebration, with the celebration a few hours away, the different selling points for ram in Abuja have recorded increased number of buyers. Kolo Muhammad reports that most sellers are seasonal businessmen who venture into the business to make sales.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
It is a tradition of Muslims the world over to make sacrifice during the festival of Eid al-Kabir.
It has to do with the first animal sacrifice that took place during the lifetime of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Ibrahim to slaughter his son Ishmael in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Then the two, that is the father and the son, submit to the will of God.
While Sayyidina Ibrahim wanted to slaughter Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah told Jibril alayhi salam, if you let that Ismail be slaughtered, you will be demoted to the lowest of the low. As a result of that, replace him with one of the rams in paradise. Simultaneously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replaced Ismail with the ram.
The sacrifice, which coincides with the Hajj rites, lasts for 3 days, beginning from the Eid day. It is usually undertaken by domestic animals such as ram, goat, depending on one's financial capability, and order of preference as recommended.
If it is ram, definitely it has to attain 1 year or closer to it. If it is goat, it has to reach complete a year and enter the second. If it is a cow, then that cow must be 2 years old and enter the 3rd year. And of course, somebody has to slaughter healthy animals.
Apologies on the mix-up in that film report. The turnout of passengers at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for the Eid al-Kabir celebration was above the usual, despite a slight increase in the airfare. Correspondent Emmanuel Aimero on Salah Travels reports that while the turnout at the airport was large, there were fewer passengers traveling by road.
The usual hustling and bustling by passengers at the airport is at its peak again, as more and more travelers are making their last-minute efforts to get to their destinations for the Eid al-Kabir festival.
The traffic situation has actually improved, and from our statistics, I know we have been actually carrying so much in the past 2-3 days.
I'm traveling also for the Salah celebration to Sokoto. I've noticed also the volume of passengers here, even though everything is orderly. So I give credit also to the airport authorities for making everything orderly, the security check, and everything is so orderly.
Flight is right on schedule, so we're just about to get on the coach to join the flight. So that's not very usual, especially for times like this.
Yeah, the fare is high. We are paying as much as 40,000, it's high.
While air travel recorded a large turnout, drivers at the Utako Motor Park are complaining of low patronage.
Passenger, no passenger. All the time we are on there here, since around 9:30.
And what time is it now?
Now we are to 1.
I've been here like 3 hours back.
The whole passenger, they only come for message to carry food, give the people that cannot travel by road. There's many accidents. Local job, they say blocked yesterday, they cannot even reach where they are going.
To ensure that the festive period is free from road traffic accident, the Federal Road Safety Corps has deployed 33,000 personnel, 859 petrol vehicles, 106 ambulances, 200 mobile calls, and many more to ease movement of goods and passengers.
I want to advise that the motoring public, especially passengers, should not be passive. They should be active, because you have every right to stop that driver before he kills you.
Passengers traveling by road are expected to enjoy their travels with measures put in place by the Corps. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NT News.
And still talking road safety, the Nigeria Police Force has deployed patrol vehicles and joint police team comprising 250 personnel to the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway to stamp out kidnapping, armed robbery and other criminal acts along the road. Ronke Kolawole reports that the Deputy Inspector General of Police Operations, Mambila Joshak, who flagged off the operation, challenged the officers on the objective of the exercise, which is to make the roads safe day and night.
Abuja-Kaduna Road can be described as lonely, situated on a rocky zone, narrow and uncompleted, while some portions are dominated by speed breakers, which perhaps explains the reason the criminals perpetrate their evil acts without fear. The team has a specific mandate to replicate the successes recorded along Abuja-Kaduna Expressway under the Operation Absolute Sanity, which has made the Abuja-Kaduna Road a no-go area for kidnappers and armed robbers. DIG Operations Mambila Joshak was precise in his directive.
With these units of the Mobile Police Force, the Counter-Terrorism Unit, and the Force Intelligence Unit of the Nigerian Police, I expect that we'll have 100% from today. I do not intend to see any criminal mosquito that will fly over this road.
DIG Joshak said all the black spots for crime in the area will be identified through intelligence and cracked. He assured the officers of adequate welfare, urging them to maintain discipline and guide against human rights abuses. Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari is in Daura, his country home in Katsina State, ahead of the Eid al-Kabir celebration. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports on the ecstasy that greeted the homecoming of the Nigerian leader.
This is the first time President Muhammadu Buhari is visiting his birthplace of Daura, not only since returning from medical vacation in London, but in almost 12 months. During the period, various insinuations were made in some quarters regarding his health status and possible survival. For the people of the ancient kingdom of Daura, led by the Emir Umar Faruk Umar, the president's homecoming was therefore not only momentous but fulfilling. It was indeed an opportunity to thank God for his mercies and further demonstrate their solidarity and support to the Nigerian leader, in whom they are well pleased. The highly elated President Buhari trekked for about 400 meters from Daura helipad to his residence, acknowledging cheers from the anxious well-wishers.
This is much expected because this is home to the president, and there is a sense among the ordinary folk, everyone around here, that they own him. So his homecoming today is inspiring, is triumphal, and for many of the people here, you know, there is a sense that the worst is over, and the president has got all of that behind him, and he's now back, ready to move the country forward.
President Muhammadu Buhari was earlier received on arrival at Katsina International Airport by Governor Aminu Bello Masari, the Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, and other personalities from all walks of life. From Daura in Katsina State, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And moving on now, the approval by the Federal Executive Council of $5.79 billion for the completion of the Mambila hydropower project in Taraba State is seen by observers as a giant stride. Mie Ogidi takes us down memory lane on this project.
It was in 1972 that the 3,050 megawatts Mambila hydropower project was initiated. Over 40 years, successive administrations have not made any significant effort to complete this project. Considering its centrality in addressing the power needs, President Muhammadu Buhari in April 2016 was in China to discuss strategies for resolving outstanding issues on the Mambila project. Gladly, the discussions were successful. So, while preparing the 2017 budget, 18.7 billion naira was allocated to the Mambila project for the engineering, procurement, construction, and resettlement of 100,000 displaced people in the catchment area. In line with the current administration's stance on fiscal prudence, the federal government renegotiated the contract downwards from $6.6 billion to $5.79 billion. On the 30th of August 2017, it was no longer rhetoric but action, as the Federal Executive Council approved $5.79 billion to the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing for the completion of this biggest single power showpiece infrastructure. Besides power generation, the project will provide irrigation services for farmers, serves as a center of tourism, control water in the event of excessive flooding, contributing in mitigating climate change, as well a key area in renewable energy generation. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
And joining us to discuss this giant stride by the Buhari administration is the Deputy National Chairman of APC, Lawal Shuaibu. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you, madam.
Now, this project has become a reality after 45 years. What do you make of it, especially in line with the government's economic recovery agenda?
You see, the thing is, what people don't realize is that President Buhari had been looking for an opportunity to make Nigeria and Nigerians realize their full economic potentials. Apart from the promises our party made to Nigerians in 2014 with respect to fighting corruption and ensuring security of life and property, we also promised Nigerians that we will ensure that we manage the economy in such a way, a manner that the provision of the development of infrastructure becomes our priority, especially in the area of electricity supply and transportation.
Okay.
And I can assure you that these things have just started. If you look at the Mambila project, there was no government in Nigeria that had not realized or recognized the need to utilize that God-given natural environment for the benefit of Nigerians, especially for economic purposes. But the political will to do it was not there. You can imagine the discussion on Mambila started in 1972. Look at the various administrations we have had in Nigeria. At one point, we have had bumper harvest in economic terms. We have had more money than we anticipated, but we could not. Today, just 2 years into office, President Buhari is now making Nigerians to realize that quite apart from even Mambila, there are other areas that Nigerians would benefit from economically. You see, the issue of electricity has become the main issue in economic management. It's not only in Nigeria, in any country. And when we started having problem in electricity supply, the economy started to crumble because we started losing jobs. Employers started retrenching. Manufacturing concerns started to close down. And with this, I assure you, even Nigerians will believe that the commitment is there in this
Okay, now that the government has taken this giant stride, what would be your counsel to Nigerians at this time?
My counsel to Nigerians at this time is to be patient. They shouldn't rush. You see, 2 years ago, when the APC government came into power, we found that the depth of the rot in the system was so deep that whatever we start doing may not be seen by the ordinary person. Probably we need some patience from people to be able to realize that what we are doing under very, very serious adverse circumstance. We have found ourselves in a situation whereby even money to pay salary was not there. We have found ourselves in a situation whereby private people were having more money than government itself, and they make the money from the government. Let them be a little patient.
Okay, now that this trend is witnessing a kind of reversal, what should the people expect in the days, weeks, perhaps months ahead in terms of fulfilling more promises?
They will see more changes. President Buhari said, I agree, I am Baba Go Slow. Leave me, and you will see what I will do. And I can assure you, Nigerians are now seeing what he is doing.
Thank you very much, Deputy National Chairman of APC, Lawal Shaibu, for coming to our studios.
Thank you very much, too.
Now, moving on, you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Ahead on the news tonight, Expert provides another perspective on the Mambila project. You don't want to miss this. Join us again.
From 1967 to 1970, Nigeria went through a horrifying civil war. It didn't matter who was wrong or right. Everybody suffered. Those who fought that war say it should never happen again.
So a lot of people will say, but you were leading the first one. Yes, I led the first one. I don't think a second one is necessary. We should have learned from that first one. Otherwise, the dead would have been to no avail, would all have been in vain.
The words of our elders are full of wisdom.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Hey, now who they here? My name now Mr. Shortcut. I didn't mind my money. Now cheap one I dey buy. From that, we say. Now to buy cheap one. Hey, now one kind cable for my yard. A cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
You don't see what happened to Mr. Shortcut? Well, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, don't ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. And if you see product where no dey correct, call the SON office where near you or SON help desk. Standards Organization of Nigeria.
Muslim faithfuls a happy Eid al-Kabir in the spirit of celebration. Obey all traffic rules and regulations to assist everyone reach their destination freely and safely. Use seat belts while driving and do not drive with worn-out or expired tires to avoid accident. Remember that consideration for other road users is a religious obligation which everyone must observe. In case of any emergency, please call 122. The two organizations wish you a happy Eid al-Kabir. This message is from the petroleum tankers drivers of Nupeng.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Thanks for staying on to Network News. And now the Managing Director of Mainstream Energy Solution, Lamu Audu, is here in the studios to speak to the issues surrounding the Mambila project. Welcome to the Network News.
Thank you for having me.
Now, after 45 years, government decided to take up the project. Can you take us through the attendant benefits?
Thank you very much. I think credit must go to the present administration for taking this project from the drawing table to the present stage, considering the fact that it has been there for 45 years, that's since 1972. Mambila project is the largest ever power project embarked upon in the history of this country, with 3,050 megawatt. It is going to be a milestone achievement for not just the power sector, but the whole nation at large. The fact that hydropower has a lot of benefits, and Mambila being the largest, definitely the benefits will be more. I want to look at the benefits from two perspectives. That is during construction and after construction, that's after commissioning. Okay. Now, during construction, it is expected that about 30,000 jobs will be created at the peak of the project. That's just the workers, including graduate professionals, skilled and semi-skilled, and laborers, with about 5% expatriates. And by the time you add the spin-offs, you know, schools will have to be provided during the project, hospitals, all the other services. Now, going down the line, by the time the project is completed, the potentials, the hidden potentials of Mambila will be opened up, definitely, because agricultural activities will take off because of the controlled flow of water. Irrigation will come in, fisheries, tourism. We all know what Mambila is. There is, I call it a hidden treasure.
Okay.
Yes. So Gembu and the nearest state capital, which is Jalingo, will be a beehive of activities by the time the project takes off, and even after, because of movements, you know, to the project site, and a lot of hotels will be required, you know, to accommodate workers, businessmen, and all sorts of things. So these are some of the benefits that will come.
Okay,
as
now
a result
it's
of
a joint venture with a Chinese civil engineering company.
Yes.
Does this give some level of confidence in the execution of the project?
Yes, definitely for the Chinese to invest up to 85% of the project cost. That tells you the confidence the international community has in Nigeria's economy. Because $5.79 billion is no small money, $1 billion that is. And before now, you know, everybody has been talking about the downtrend in the economy and all that, but with this, that tells us definitely that the economy has a lot of confidence as far as the international investors are concerned. So with the Chinese coming in, I believe this is just the beginning. For me, I will suggest that even though, yes, the Chinese will be giving us some loans, but I think we should take advantage of the benefits considering the local content that Nigerians are supposed to provide during the project.
Okay, now, what is very novel about this project is the fact that it is now being ventured into after 45 years.
Yes.
Now, what should be done to ensure that the project does not suffer another abandonment?
I believe it will not suffer previous kind of abandonment that we had in such a huge project, because it is on record that this government makes sure that the counterpart funding, which is essential and which has always been the issue with such projects, have been set aside and has been made available. That is the 15% counterpart funding coming from the government. The Chinese have already provided the fund, so I don't think that project will suffer any abandonment.
Thank you very much, Lamu Audu, Managing Director, Mainstream Energy Solution, for providing these perspectives to this issue.
Thank you for having me.
Now, moving on, about 108,000 members of the ICU group have formally declared for the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. Karina Igonikon has this report.
National leader of the group, Chizi Inyemosila, declaring their stand for the APC, reiterated their willingness to work purposely for the success of the APC in 2019.
And so what we want to join the APC is that we know that they will provide a peaceful platform and a prosperous platform and godly platform for us to achieve that which we wanted to do.
Leader of the APC in Rivers State and Minister of Transportation, Chibike Rotimi Amechi, represented by the Senator representing Rivers East Senatorial District, Andrew Uchendo.
I am impressed particularly with the level of organization, the mobilization, and indeed the discipline in the group.
The group is welcome. From today, they are APC members, and they have equal status.
I know the capacity of the ICU group, and for them to join the APC is a booster.
The ICU group has over 108,000 members, including those from the Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo communities in Rivers State. In Port Harcourt, Karina Igonikon, NTA News.
Nigeria has continued to receive allies around the world. The latest is the British government to stand shoulder to shoulder with the government in partnership on the economy, security, and humanity. This was part of the discussion between Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the UK delegation. Correspondent Gideon Ifade has the details.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo told the delegation, led by the British Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs Secretary Boris Johnson, that Nigeria remains investors' delight as the Buhari administration continues.
Our apologies there, but the news continues. The sacrifice and resilience of the Nigerian army in peacekeeping programs in the face of an internal battle with Boko Haram has been commended. The United Kingdom Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson made the commendation in Abuja at the dedication of the Commonwealth Memorial War Graves in memory of heroes of the First and Second World Wars. Lydia Sampson has the report.
Constructed by the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, the memorial, stakeholders say, is a befitting honor to the sons and daughters of Africa who paid the ultimate price by laying down their lives. Solemn but thought-provoking as the importance of the event permeated the National Military Cemetery, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, and his United Kingdom counterpart, Boris Johnson, paid tribute to the Nigerian servicemen who were among the millions of lives lost in the First and Second World Wars.
Nigerian military are still, in spite of the difficulties that Nigeria faces, are still contributing troops to peacekeeping operations around the world. So I think that we can be very proud proud of what Nigeria has contributed to liberty, to the freedom of our world.
That catastrophic Second World War was based on an ideology, of hate, and these people gave their lives for that freedom.
Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs had then commended the role of British military in the training of Nigerian soldiers in the northeast. In Abuja, I am Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Arts and Crafts Village Abuja is alive again with activities at the African Arts and Crafts Expo. One of the activities is the West to West Free Skills Acquisition Program by the National Council for Arts and Culture. Elizabeth Banu has the report.
More than 250 Nigerian youths have so far registered for the training, out of which over 150 have already benefited.
What I've learned here, I'm going to transform it into a business.
Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, Otumba Olusegun Runshawe, says the training is in line with government's objective of empowering Nigerians.
We are happy that we've been able to key in. We're happy that we've been able to empower the Nigerian youth, women in particular, and the turnout has been very impressive. We hope from tomorrow we will start the medical and also the eye stuff. So we believe very soon the market will be the hype of event and activities.
The rich and diverse African arts, craft, cuisine and fashion are showcased at the African Arts and Craft Expo, which provides opportunity for job creation, poverty alleviation, as well as the promotion of African arts and craft in the international market.
And we have come to make the world know that culture is indeed the next gold mine, not only in Nigeria, in Africa and even in the world.
The council says it is overwhelmed by the number of interested participants. As a result, more pavilions are being erected at the village to accommodate them. Elizabeth Banu, NTA News.
And more now on the British Foreign Secretary, as we tell you that the British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson says Britain will support the Nigerian Navy to effectively safeguard the Gulf of Guinea against piracy and other criminal activities. He stated this after a meeting with the Chief of Training and Operations of the Nigerian Navy and other senior naval officers in Lagos. Lynn Leneke has the story.
Nigeria has been bedeviled by the activities of insurgency, piracy and pipeline vandalism, which have kept the armed forces on their toes. To win the battles and keep the menace of criminality at bay, the Nigerian Navy and the United Kingdom are partnering to strengthen the existing bilateral ties as well as fight insurgency and piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. The United Kingdom Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson explained that his visit is part of efforts to assist a Commonwealth nation.
We in the UK are very proud that we are able to offer some assistance to the Nigerian Navy in becoming even better than they are already in tackling piracy.
The Chief of Training and Operations, Nigerian Navy, Rear Admiral Ferguson Bobai, explained that the meeting is a testimony to the existing bilateral ties between Nigeria and Britain.
For us, I think it's a good omen. It has indicated that our relationship with the UK is growing stronger, is deepening.
He noted that naval personnel are currently undergoing strategic training with British instructors to develop adequate capacity for effective safeguarding of the Gulf of Guinea. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And we go back now to an earlier story where we told you that Nigeria has continued to receive allies from around the world. The latest being the British government, who stands shoulder to shoulder with the government in partnership on the economy, security and humanity. This was part of the discussion between the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the UK delegation. Correspondent Jidu Nifade has the details.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo told the delegation, led by the British Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs Secretary Boris Johnson, that Nigeria remains investors' delight as the Buhari administration continues its drives to promote private sector partnership and ready to provide the necessary assistance to private investors looking to invest in the country. Nigeria Vice President Osinbajo said had no choice but to diversify from oil, and more attention is focused on agriculture, adding that government is also interested in construction companies with the expertise and technical know-how to deliver mass housing projects across the country. The UK's Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs, Mr. Boris Johnson, said that the UK is working to build an economic partnership with Nigeria, given the country's status as the biggest economy in the continent.
Discussed some of the contributions that the UK can make on the military front, on the humanitarian side, on the development aid side, which Priti Patel represents, and also, of course, on building up that trade and commercial relationship between the UK and Nigeria.
But actually the economic diversification, the development that is required here in Nigeria. So the meetings today with all ministers have very much focused on the future, the strength of the relationship, but the future growth for Nigeria and inclusive growth, which means all areas in Nigeria, and how we in Britain can support, a growing economy, but also put forward the incentives and help to create the right environment for investment and British investment in Nigeria to secure Nigeria's future.
Present at the meeting were Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, and that of Budget and International Planning, Udo Utoma.
The three priority areas of this government, security, governance, anti-corruption, and the economy, job creation. And so their visit keys right into that. And we've had long-standing partnership with the United Kingdom.
We're very happy to note the commitment to continue to work with Nigeria, and in particular, we're very happy to note that some of the businesses and investors might be interested in investing in Nigeria.
The delegation was Paul Oakright, British High Commissioner to Nigeria, and other top officials. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And it's time now to join our Lagos Network Center for more news. And Ademola is our guide.
Thank you, Phil. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. A coalition of civil society groups have come together to join hands with the federal government to tackle the menace of corruption in Nigeria. One of the strategies adopted by the groups is enlightenment and public sensitization on the evils of corruption and its negative impact on national development. The groups organized a walk in Lagos as part of awareness campaign. Joy Ken Abakoya reports.
The sensitization exercise by Movement Against Corruption kicked off from Ikeja to various parts of that axis. The march stopped at the Lagos State House. The organizers say the essence of the road show is to enlighten the public on the consequences of corruption and how it affects national development.
Nigerians are going to march against corruption for them to tell everyone that we need to prevent and eradicate corruption and abuse of power, not only within the public sector, but also private sector.
The representative of the Lagos State Governor, Sheye Oladejo, while addressing the group, noted that the Lagos State government will continue to support the fight against corruption in order to ensure its eradication.
We now have corruption in unusual places, in the churches, in the mosques, among the youth and the rest of it. Definitely, if we don't all join hands to kill corruption, it will only kill us as individuals, it will kill this nation.
Some members of the group called on Nigerians to join in the anti-corruption crusade.
Corruption is everywhere. It is time for us to say no to this epidemic. This plague must be killed, and we have started.
We want anti-corruption fight to be built in the upbringing of our children.
The road walk had the theme, Red Card Against Corruption. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakoya, NTA News.
Fresh yogurt, a nourishing milk drink produced by Olam Nigeria Limited, has been reintroduced into the Nigerian market. Annie Daniels reports that producers of the drink reveal that it is full of vitamins enough to keep everybody going.
Of Olam Nigeria Limited, producers of fresh yogurt disclosed that the production industry was gutted by fire, leading to a closure of the industry. All that, however, belongs to history. Fresher yogurt is now back, fresher and more nourishing.
Olam is like the history has started from Nigeria only, and now Olam is a very big corporate. We are present in more than 70 countries.
It can be taken any time of the day. Has a very unique taste. There is no other yogurt drink that can match the taste of Fresher.
Old people are also young at heart, and Fresher is for all kind of people. Anybody can take it.
Fresher yogurt, management say, comes in various sizes, flavors and affordable.
We have the Tetra Pak, the triangular Tetra Pak that is targeted at the children. It comes with a straw, which makes it convenient for the kids.
One glass 250 ml gives 10% of daily energy. It's a nice, thick, filling yogurt. G is great taste. It's one of the most fabulous drinking yogurt that you can ever drink anywhere. And H is healthy because it's calcium, protein, and vitamins.
The product's brand ambassador, Emmanuela, a comedian, attested to this. Awards were presented to some deserving distributors of the products. Olam Nigeria Limited has an array of products on its production line. The company's management say they are committed to becoming the #1 yogurt drink producer in Nigeria, in Lagos. Annie Daniels, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues from Abuja. Stay with us.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. Bayes University Abuja. Learn to live.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
I was distressed to notice that some of the comments, especially in the social media, have crossed our national red lines by daring to question our collective existence as a nation. This is a step too far.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
It's good to know that you are still tuned to NTA Network News. Trading on the Nigerian stock market continued its losing streak on the last day of trading for the week. Chiazala Mekie has details of this and more on Business News.
Good evening and a warm welcome to Business News. Despite the fact that microfinance is capable of growing many small businesses around the world, investigations show that microcredit facilities in Nigeria account for less than 1% of the total credits to the economy. While the World Bank estimates that more than 16 million people are benefiting from the services of about 7,000 microfinance institutions, the scheme appears to be facing challenges like social misconception, high operational costs, refusal by customers to repay loans, and emergence of magic banks.
We know they see lights, they take the core mineral, preserve our things. They buy a block, 120, 150.
It's very, very key to any national development. We should not be joking with that aspect because they are the pivotal through which the large-scale industry can grow.
Microfinance banks are in almost all rural areas in Nigeria today. And they are talking to farmers, they are encouraging farmers. They are talking to them to the extent of helping them to realize their own objective and goals.
In our own system where we operate, we do not have the support and banking to draw on funds significantly. How do we provide access to credit?
Global rating agency Fitch affirms Nigeria's sovereign ratings at B+. Fitch says Nigeria's ratings was supported by a large, diversified economy, significant oil reserves, net external creditor position, among others. A quick look at trading figures on the Nigerian stock market today. And that's the package. I'm Chiazala Mekia. The news continues. Please stay with us.
Many thanks, Chiazala. Fataina Ibadan Network Center has more on network news.
Thank you, Phil, and welcome to the cradle of television, Ibadan. Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, is already in the mood of Eid al-Kabir celebration as people continue to make last-minute preparation for the festival. Rafia Animashan Badmus has the situation report.
2 hours to this year's Eid al-Kabir festival, the mood in Ibadan has already depicting a big celebration. The various motor parks are already a beehive of activities as travelers in and out of the Oyo State capital throng the parks. Commercial vehicle operators seize the high patronage to increase transport fare.
Transport fare from Lagos to Ibadan right now is 2,000 naira. But last week I entered it 1,200 from Ibadan here to.
Sellers of food items and rams, however, complained of low sales, though the items are in large supply.
But this year, there's no market at all. The rice is normal price for now, but there's no money for people to buy it. But this year, rams are not cost like last year. The other people are selling it cheap. Even rams, they are called like 70,000 last year. They still sell it like 50 now.
As at this time, traders of clothing materials noted that most people first look for what to eat before clothing, hence the low patronage being experienced. In Ibadan, Rafia Animashan Badmus, NTA News.
Meanwhile, wife of the president, Hajj Aisha Buhari, has called on Nigerians to always put the country first with love in their undertakings, as this would assist the nation achieved the desired change. Hajj Buhari made a call in a message to a national prayer convened by the Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Abdul Rashid Akombi, in his palace. Tope Alabi has the report.
Traditional rulers, clergymen, both from Islamic and Christian faith, as well as traditional religion worshippers, all converged on Iwo at the Oluwo's palace to jointly offer prayers for the nation and its leaders, particularly President Muhammadu Buhari. Wife of the president, Hajia Aisha Buhari, represented by Al-Hajja Halimat Ali, commended Oluwo for spearheading the prayer session for the good of the country and to foster peace and unity.
This is what he has done, and she's much appreciative.
The convener and the Oluwo of Iwo land, Oba Abdul Rashid Akombi, said the national prayer was organized to appreciate God for the safe return of President Muhammadu Buhari after his medical vacation in the United Kingdom.
We need to start loving each other and see and put people in our own shoes, regardless of any political affiliation. People believe the man will not return. That is why we are here, and for him to come up with this occasion is a very big dream.
The session has been named Leadership Prayer Day by the Oluwo, and it is expected to be a yearly program. From Iwo, Tope Alabi, NTA News.
And that's our offering from the cradle. It's back to Abuja for more stories on Network News.
Thank you, Fatai. Another break beckons now. We will be back after the messages.
National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
And now a bit of foreign news.
You're welcome to this segment of the news. Emergency officials have reported 2 blasts at their command plant of Crosby. The complex lost the ability to refrigerate chemical compounds that needed to be kept cold during heavy rainfall from Hurricane Harvey. The owners have warned that this is inevitable. Close-by residents have fled their homes due to danger of the blast. At least 33 people have been killed, with about 600,000 displaced in eastern Texas in the aftermath of the storm. Meanwhile, at least 11 people have died and 24 others have been rescued after a building collapsed in Mumbai. The building is located in the densely populated area of the city, and reports say it is about 100 years old. Police suspect Tuesday's torrential rain weakened the structure and the building that collapsed. In the latest...
And Tamara Ibiwe has the sports update.
Super Eagles technical advisor Gernot Rohr has assured Nigerians a victory against